Okay, ever since I posted my video yesterday, a lot of y'all have been asking why I dropped my sorority, and I already posted a video about this, but here's going to be a more in-depth story time. So I actually started my freshman year of college with a boyfriend, and surprise, surprise, it didn't work out. And we ended up breaking up halfway through the school year, and I was like, okay, now is my time to really get my full sorority Greek life experience. So I went a little crazy. And no, it wasn't any crazier than what most freshmen do at a party school, but I was going out a lot. And I really, really wanted Greek life to bring me happiness. I wanted that lifestyle to bring me happiness, but it just didn't. I tried to be a part of a few different cliques in my sorority, but none of them really just resonated with me. And every time I didn't go out, I would get FOMO, but then every time I did go out, it just wouldn't live up to my expectations, and ultimately I was just very unsatisfied. Anyway, I kept doing this until I had a really bad experience at a frat party. I'm not going to sit here and say I was drugged because I really, truly don't know, but something fell off and it was very scary and kind of traumatizing. It was so bad that I actually had a come to Jesus moment. And I started getting really spiritual, and I kind of just was forced to look in the mirror and try to connect with myself again. And what that looked like for me was I became healthier, I exercised more, and I stopped self-tanning, and I started wearing less makeup, which might not sound like a big deal to y'all, but if you've been self-tanning like religiously for 2 years and you stop, it like kind of is a big deal. I was trying to embrace my natural features, and I was completely sober. Now, I never really did drugs, but I did vape a little bit early on in college, and obviously I went out and I partied, and I just quit that completely cold turkey. And it was working. Like, I started feeling a deep sense of joy. I was happy about my life. I felt good about myself. I also stopped hanging out with all the girls in my sorority, and I kind of like avoided going to the house. And I just noticed that I felt a lot of peace. I remember there was this one specific chapter at the end of the school year where all the girls around me were vaping, exec was vaping, and they were handing out spray tan coupons to all the girls who were participating in chapter. And they were talking about the date party that was going to go on that weekend, which was going to be, a lot of drinking, a lot of partying. And I just kind of realized like my values no longer aligned with their values, and I just didn't want to be a part of that organization anymore. So on top of all of that, when I was going through my spiritual journey, I really wanted to do something for like my younger self. And I know this might sound really stupid to y'all, and y'all might not get it, but when I was 12, I watched Cheaper by the Dozen too, and I really wanted to get a lower back tattoo of a butterfly. So I decided to get one my second semester of my freshman year of college. My parents went with me, they held my hand, and I know it might sound really silly, but it actually meant a lot to me, and it felt like I was staying true to myself in a way. And I posted this picture of it, and my sorority told me to take it down. They wouldn't let me post any pictures, basically showing my lower back. And I felt like ever since then, they just did not like me. Right after that, I actually studied abroad with the Honors College at the University of Alabama on scholarship. And every other girl who studied abroad got posted on the Zeta Instagram, but I didn't. And then a year later, I actually talked with the girls who was on exec during that time, and she told me that they would talk bad about me behind my back, which just kind of felt like a slap in the face because my grand big was the president. So yeah, all of that stuff combined, I just decided to leave, and I want to talk about what my life has been like since I left. First thing was I had extra time and energy to focus on myself and focus on like my health and self-care and working out and things like that. Second thing was my social life became a lot more fulfilling because instead of wasting like my social battery on a bunch of kind of acquaintances, I was able to focus all that energy on genuine, authentic friendships. Number 3, which I was kind of surprised by, but guys actually took me more seriously and respected me more. Like, I feel like I entered like a level up dating pool. When I was in a sorority, I feel like a lot of guys kind of wrote me off as a dumb party sorority girl. It also made me feel like prettier when I dropped. I know that might sound weird, but when I was in a sorority, I was surrounding myself by a lot of girls who had a lot more money than me, a lot more work done than me. And a lot of them kind of like looked the same, they had the tan skin and the bleached hair. And I feel like subconsciously I was comparing myself to them, and it made me like not appreciate my own features. And I also felt like I was constantly playing like keeping up with the Joneses with like the outfits and the jewelry and the purses. When I dropped my sorority, that like pressure to do that kind of went away. Overall, the most important thing it did was it brought me a lot of peace. I think a lot of girls are scared to drop their sorority because it gives you this illusion that you have like 400 friends, when in reality, those are also a lot of times the same girls that are talking bad about you behind your back and like causing drama around you. I'm just telling you right now, it is not worth $4,000 a semester and your peace and your social battery and your energy. To me, being in a sorority felt less like a sisterhood and more like an all-girls high school. There was like a social hierarchy, there was like girl politics you had to play, there were mean girls. And I'm just not about that life. I don't like playing those games. I'm a very genuine person and I pride myself on being very authentic. I don't really think my sorority at the end of the day gave me space to do that. Last thing I will say is I don't regret it. Honestly, it helped me find myself. I think I learned a lot and I did meet a few really awesome people. It also helped me get into a lot of other organizations on campus, so it definitely wasn't all bad. But I think sororities need to be held accountable, and I really think they need to be honest about what joining that organization actually entails. A lot of them lie during rush. A lot of them even like make up events just to kind of like sell you on this idea of sisterhood or sell you on this idea on philanthropy. Ultimately, I didn't volunteer once with my sorority. I volunteered several times through other organizations on campus. Anyway, that's my story. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I love you guys so much. Bye.